Nation of Fit and 10, it is day 42, and we are officially at the 4 weeks left mark, which is, kind of a big deal because, as I mentioned, basically another 10 days and we're into the teens, another 10 days and we're into the singles, and then another 10 days and that's it, right? Or even less than that. So, not a lot of time left, but still in the, when we think about the percentage of the challenge, still 40% of the challenge, right? Still almost half the challenge. So, just a reminder that there's still a lot of progress that can be made. Still tons. And in fact, I would argue you can make more progress now in the final 4 weeks than you did in the first 6 weeks. Well, maybe not more, but let's say about the same. Okay? Calories are a little bit lower. Cardio is a little bit harder. You're better at training. You have a better understanding of the program at this point, right? There's no real learning at this point. I think we all have there's plenty to learn, of course, but in terms of having enough knowledge at this point for you to sort of take off and make progress right from the final 4 weeks going forward, as opposed to the beginning when you were just, trying to figure out everything, right? So, anyways, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that you can make, potentially more change in the final 4 weeks than the first 6. Just do your best and let's see where you stand. But the key here is, as I've been talking about, is you got to keep going. You've got to keep going. There's no two ways about it. And as you know, there's no secret in this, right? The secret is just to do something reasonable over a long period of time. That's it. That is if you want to call it a secret, that is the secret. Okay, listen, I'm sorry. I read this a couple days ago, forgot to answer it, so let's just get into it. This person writes, I'm starting to notice how easy it is to fall off the plan. I have a lot of inner speech wanting to say, screw it. I'm happy with progress up to the last measure, and I am worried I will gain it all back. What does post-fit in 10 challenge look like? Yeah, you'll gain it back if you revert back. You'll gain it back if you don't follow some sort of framework. This goes for everybody. So you just have to ask yourself what is important to you, okay? Now, maybe that is a bit ignorant for me to say, but ultimately you just have to be aware of what you're doing. So if you have a framework to work with, for example, I want you to stay roughly within these calories, let's be more specific. I want you to stay roughly within these macros, okay, or specifically this set of macros, plus or minus 10%. And if you can maintain that, then you have no worries. This is going to serve you well. Okay, you'll probably continue to make progress after the challenge. Actually, just to speak on this, I had somebody come in today who did the challenge prior to this one. And she did phenomenal. This girl ended up losing just under 17 pounds of fat 16 pounds of fat through the 10 weeks. And then she kept going after the challenge. And, based on her motivation and based on how she felt, I said, listen, stay at your week 10 macros, go for another 10 weeks. If you feel like you can do it, and if it becomes difficult throughout, you can always contact me. Anyways, she went for the next 10 weeks. Still the same macros, doing awesome. Not something I would typically recommend, but for this person, it worked out great. And she ended up losing she came in today, we did a scan. She lost another 11 pounds of fat. So altogether, she's lost 27 pounds of fat. Not just 27 pounds, because people can lose 27 pounds and they can lose water, they can lose muscle, and they can lose, surely some fat with that. But we are talking about pure fat, and this is way different, okay? This is akin to a lot of people losing 40 pounds, period. All right? But the way that, we do it in this challenge is it's fat loss focused. And of course, lean body mass retentive, right? We really want to focus on that. So, anyways, you know, that is a success story. You know, not so much that she lost 16 pounds in the challenge, but that she is still going and still progressing. And boy, can I really see a difference, you know, even just in her face. It's quite astonishing. So I do have a strategy specifically of what to do post Fit in 10 challenge. But if you want to talk to me and say, listen, based on, you know, XYZ, you know, what do you think I should do? Okay, because it's not a one size fits all for everybody, of course. So like in the case of Catherine, who came in today, you know, maybe there might be something a little bit different that we'll do. Okay, but the whole point here is coming back to, you know, how do I not revert back? Well, you just don't go back to what you were doing. You have to have some framework. So if in your mind, you know, something is only temporary to you, then that's going to spell disaster in terms of you maintaining or perhaps even improving on where you're at the end of the challenge. To this person that asked me this question, you did phenomenal in your first scan. This person lost 8 pounds of fat. Okay, in the first 21 days, this person lost 8 pounds of fat. That is exceptional. This person keeps going the way that they're going, they're going to lose a good 24 pounds of fat, which would be crazy and very, very possible. Okay, so, but we've got to put the work in. Nothing comes for free. Nothing comes for free. If you want something, okay, and you're not just getting it for free, okay, which is, you know, most things in life, or I would probably say for most people, it's, you know, almost everything in life. We have to work for it. We have to put in the daily work, right? And this is why I say a little bit every day, because a lot every day is just not going, is going to be too much, but a little bit every day, right? We've got to think about sustainability going forward. A little bit every day, a little bit every day, a little bit every day. Okay, maybe we mess up. Okay, let's get back on track. A little bit every day, a little bit every day. We keep going every day, every day. Okay, with maybe some hiccups here or there, or maybe some reward meals, right? Or whatever. But over the grand scheme of things, the longer that you carry on with something, the easier it will be for you to give yourself a free meal here or there. So long as you stick with things day in and day out, right? Because it's everything you've done to help you versus everything that's worked against you. So the more that you do to work for you, right, gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then if you have these, you know, whatever, a reward meal, let's say once every 2 weeks or whatever, I'm just using that as an example. Let's just say that in comparison to all this good that you're doing, it outweighs it more and more and more as time goes on. All right. And there is specifically some physiology to that. Okay. Which maybe I'll talk about in a future video. 8.5 minutes. Okay, I think I'm going to just leave it there. Do I have any more? Actually, you know what? Let me check and see if I got any more entries. Oh, I do have more entries here. I got one more entry. Oh, and I don't think I finished this person's entry from yesterday. All right. Save it for tomorrow, okay? Figuring this out while I'm on video here, not really a cool thing to do, I guess. All right, let's get to the message of the day on this day 42. Well, you know, sometimes you just got to get going to get going. All right, and I say this because, you know, motivation isn't always going to be there, right? But this happens to me all the time when it comes to cardio. I will go through my day, and if I don't do cardio first thing in the morning, which nowadays is very rare. Sorry, it's very common that I don't do my cardio first thing in the morning because I'm usually teaching at 4 a.m. and I don't want to get up at 3 to do cardio, which I have done in the past, and no, we don't want to go there. I'm not going back there. Okay, sleep is important. But my point here is, so if I don't do it, then I'll go through my day and I'll be like, okay, I'll do it in an hour. Let me get this done and I'll go do it. And then I keep putting it. Sometimes you just got to get into it and then you get it going. So like, once I get on the bike, because that's what I do the majority of my cardio, once I get in the first 5-6 minutes, I'm like, okay, it just becomes easier. But it was the initial, turning point of me actually changing, getting down that bike and then getting going, right? Sometimes you just got to get going to get yourself going. You've got to stop thinking about it like I would be thinking about it, hour after hour through the day. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it now. No, let's do it later. Sometimes you just got to put it out of thought and just say, I'm just going to go and get it done now. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to give it my best effort, right? Sometimes you just got to get going to get going. All right. Yeah, that's one that I made up myself. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. Just remember what got you to where you are. You need to maintain at the very least, maintain where you are. Okay? So we've got to be cognizant of our energy intake and the types of energy we have. It's kind of obvious though, is it not? It should be obvious. Or maybe that's not fair to say. I don't know. Anyways, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. See you guys.